Welcome to the Conflict Podcast, where we created a space that allows us to have healthy conflict through sharing. Welcome to the Conflict Podcast, where you have myself, Crystal, Dee, and our guests, Onari and Jordan. So tonight we're going to discuss breaking up to make up. Yes, break up to make up.
How y'all start? How you meet her?
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
So do you want me to tell her or do you?
I want to hear your
I
side.
want the truth.
No, it's two different versions.
You have a side too?
Yeah, it's two different
It's
versions.
side A and
Your
side
side, his side, but it's the truth.
Okay, so you can figure out what you think the truth is. Go ahead, Mr. Jackson.
How did y'all meet? How did you meet one another?
Go ahead.
That's what I want to know.
B. First of all, my wife is 5 years older than me.
And she.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, but we met back in 2003.
How old was you in 2003?
I was still in high school.
How old was you in 2003?
Me? I was like 17.
Oh.
How old was your wife?
She was a pervert.
I was in college.
She was in college.
Oh.
17, 23.
That's
22? Oh.
Okay. Uh-huh.
But we known each other since then.
High school and college. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm listening.
We known each other since then.
Wow.
You sure you don't want to tell her?
No, I'm just.
I'd rather you tell her. Cause that way,
I would rather you tell because at that point, at this point when y'all met, he was a child, he was an adult.
it was
So
2003.
I was an elder.
I would let the adult
Okay.
say
She was a cougar.
So in 2003, I was in my last year of college, and
You was in high school.
I started to work at the job where I am currently.
You was in last year of college,
I
in
was.
high school.
Oh,
You was in last year of high school.
yes.
So you was in last, hold on, wait, you was in last year of high school, you was in last year.
I didn't know.
No.
He didn't look like he was in
So
high
you
school.
lied on the thing?
No, he didn't talk.
Okay.
So this is what it is. So he used to come and
Don't say he lied. But
No,
did you
he didn't
know
lie.
he
He
was-
just didn't talk. So I
Did
didn't know
you
how
know
old
he
he
was in high
was.
school?
No.
So you didn't know. So you didn't
So,
know.
alright,
How did y'all? We used to school. How did y'all?
No, so I'm gonna give you this. I learned the game from my grandmother, right? So
The game you gotta go to school is different. I'm confused. When you gotta go to school, you gotta be at school 8:45.
I'm talking about
Alright,
the game.
can we hear her story?
Wait, alright.
So where I was working was a school, and his nephews attended the school where I worked at the time.
So you worked at the school.
I worked at the school, not the school where he went. His nephews went to the school. Not his school. This was elementary school.
So you worked at elementary school.
At
You was in high school.
And he would come pick his nephews up in the afternoon. He didn't have a book bag. He didn't look like a kid.
And you had your eye on her.
I'm gonna tell you the honest to God truth. So for me, I always have had a thing about very attractive men. You have to be attractive. I just feel like I can't be with somebody. No, this is the truth.
Hold on. You laughing something wrong?
She said she attractive man, but she
Very
was
attractive
in the
man,
school
but you-
system.
No, but he wasn't. Listen to. Okay, look. So let's get past the age thing.
You was in the school.
I have a thing about men that are attractive because I feel like if I'm attracted to you and we go through a rough patch, I still like you because you're attractive. I can't argue with anybody that I feel like is unattractive because it's just too much. So visually, he was very appealing to me. So he would come and pick his nephews up. I used to work in the office. So when I knew it was time for the nephews to get picked up, his sister-in-law would call me on my desk phone and say, Uncle Bones is ready to come pick the kids up. And I would go do my makeup.
Uncle Bum.
Oh.
Oh, that's my nigga.
High school bumpers.
No, that's my nigga. My nephews and my family call me Uncle Bones.
I mean, cause they younger than you.
Right.
You was in high school.
Right.
You was able to pick them up. Get a car. So no, I'm saying that's true. So you was uncle to them. They
You
was
can have that part.
It was elementary school. And you was in high school. You was picking your niece and nephews up.
Continue.
Okay.
And then
Continue.
the
I was gonna
person,
say it for me to go.
Continue.
a teacher at the school.
Okay. So I would do my makeup and I would do my hair. But the funny thing is, we didn't have any conversations. So I would conveniently find a way to do something that would involve me passing him either in the hallway, in the classroom,
That's cute.
while he was picking them up. So we never really talked. I mean, it would just be like, oh, what's up, and you keep moving.
As a teacher,
I wasn't a teacher, I was an administrator.
that's even okay. Administrator. Okay.
She trying to
So,
say something.
so administrator
student. I didn't know he was in high school.
Administrative.
Okay, so fast forward.
Actually, I wasn't even in high school. I was in job corps.
See, so he was adulting. He was a job.
I was in job corps.
So fast forward,
So
nothing happened. This was 2003, 4,
He's moving
5,
I was working.
6, but nothing happened. 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Right. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So in 2015, he had been previously married and I had been previously married.
Okay.
And so I was going through a separation, but I didn't know he was going through anything. I hadn't talked to him.
Yeah.
He was young. You wouldn't think that somebody that young be going through a merge.
He wasn't young. This was 2015.
How was
This is years later.
Okay,
Fast forward years later.
So he was going through a divorce, I was going through a divorce. And so he started liking pictures on my Instagram page.
Oh.
Right? I didn't follow him on Instagram because I'm gonna be honest, when I found out he was getting married, I was in my feelings. So I stopped following him because I didn't want to see it. So
Why you want to see somebody?
why would I want to see somebody marrying him? I felt some type of way.
Yeah.
Y'all wasn't that couple.
We
It
weren't.
doesn't matter,
But
but
in my mind, at some point he was gonna belong
I was
to me.
hers. I was hers in her mind
In my
all this
mind.
time, even though she was with me.
The high school.
And you didn't want to
job
see.
corps- the job
Right,
corps- the
yeah,
job-
that makes
so
sense.
job
The
corps,
young
he
lady.
picks up the kid.
Yeah, I was lusting.
Was your
I had
eye?
lustful eye.
Okay.
So
That's what's
I called
happening.
his sister-in-law and I asked her what was going on. She said, no, he's going, he's getting a divorce really soon, blah, 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 blah. We ended up having a couple of conversations on the phone.
So who got the divorce first?
You did. I didn't get my divorce first. But we were respectful of the situation. Because the reality was we didn't want to like really be intimate with each other or anything until we had solidified those previous situations. Because you know how you get them is how you lose them.
Exactly.
So we didn't cross those
So y'all
boundaries.
was talking to each other, both.
Right. Right.
We
We
both separated. We
were both separated. I wasn't living with
Legally
my
separated or
sister.
talk separated?
You said what?
Legally separated or?
I was legally
I was
separated.
separated.
We just didn't have the divorce. You have to be separated for a year before you get the divorce.
Yes or no?
Yes, we were both
So you
legally
legally
separated.
separated?
Yes.
Not through text messages.
No, it was like you have to be separated for a year and then you can get
Yeah.
a divorce.
I can't speak for her. I can speak for me.
So
I
you legally separated?
I had been separated for like 5 years at that point.
No, like 6 months to a year.
Okay, so you wasn't legally separated.
Sir.
6 months is not legally separated.
But we weren't doing anything.
So
Y'all was entertaining each other.
from May and when I got separated
So-
to December 14th of that year,
So that's a dog.
I got a divorce, sir.
So once he got
Separated
himself,
12 months.
he got a divorce and then we went on our first
Hold
date.
on. Legally.
No, he was divorced at this point.
No, I'm saying legal separation is 12 months.
Right.
Y'all was interacting.
We wasn't screwing, that's all that matters.
So,
We didn't do nothing.
We weren't
do
doing
nothing.
anything
We didn't do
at
nothing
all.
until I got.
So when he got his divorce,
I threw her my papers.
he did, he
That's it.
threw the papers at
so what y'all just seeing each other, just looking each other eyes. Just,
yeah, because I really wanted to hump him, but we were married to other people and we couldn't do
You wanted
that.
to hump me or you wanted to hunch?
so how did I restrain that from each other at that point?
Don't put yourself in that position.
That's
I had kids
She ain't let me
from my
know.
previous marriage.
She ain't know.
You have to be in house.
She
No.
was the cop. She
We would come outside, like I would talk to him outside, but it was very tricky because my
It's
children knew
okay.
him because I was friends with his family. You see that?
okay.
Other options though. I'm
No, but we did not do anything physical until that
It was
papers were
official.
signed.
Yes.
so y'all was
Under-
talking.
Right. Right.
Y'all was- Okay.
Okay. So, we both got divorced. We went out on a date. We started to, really decided this is something that we wanted to pursue.
To set up this.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was, I think for both of us, well, I can say for me, it was hard because I had come from a very rough situation previously. We were both young. I was very immature. And then going into a situation with somebody who I was already very attracted to and not really wanting to play the same games I was playing before. And then one of the things that really attracted me to him outside of the physical appearance was he could really spot my bullshit. And I'm a real good wordsmith. So I can paint you a picture with words very easily. And he could penetrate. Oh, he'd be like, no, that's not, we're not going. And he was a man. And when you're dealing with a woman that's an alpha female, you have to be a man without being aggressive or overly aggressive. And so he gave me the space to still be me and have my business and do the things that I was doing, but respect him enough to know, like, nah, we're not going to do that. Or we're not going to do it that way. So.
Okay. Okay.
It was physical attraction. Me being infatuated with him, us being in a relationship, all of that stuff that we did to be together, we still ended up separating for what, 9-10 months?
10.
Yeah. And within that 10 months, I mean,
I will say it was a learning process.
It was a fun process.
Oh?
Was it a fun process?
Hell no, it wasn't a fun process.
Was it a fun process for you?
I'm talking to Julie.
hold on, so y'all were separated too?
Yeah.
Yes,
For how long?
I would say like 9 months.
Oh, same amount of time.
Yes.
Was it a
But
fun process?
I'm asking Jordan
But
a
you're
question.
right. You
so
asked him, was it a fun?
I'm asking Jordan, was it a fun process for him?
No, it wasn't a fun process.
Why? You was outside?
Well, you was outside.
Oh, I was outside too.
I was outside too, but
But she never blocked me.
How was you outside though?
Hold on.
Wait,
So I was outside, but she never blocked me. So
Oh, so
she
you
let
need
me-
to see what I was doing.
I was blocked.
oh well, let me just say this. He was blocked from my phone. He was blocked from the camera because he's trying to look.
No, but your friend, she never blocked me. She let me see everything.
Oh,
You're right.
I mean, yeah.
Crystal.
I get that. I mean, that's cool. No, I get it. Nah, but I'm petty, so yes, I did.
So you silently petty.
No, y'all.
I didn't entertain the pettiness that she was doing. She did a lot of petty things. And that's why I chose to move out.
You or her?
Oh, she was there. That because the fact that the house that we had together, and I had came home with our kids, and I was putting the code in our door, and it wasn't going in. I thought I had a couple too many drinks. I mean, I thought I was.
It was changed?
I thought that.
You thought
I thought I was drinking too much. So I called her and said, something wrong with it. Can you just open it when you out? Cause something wrong with mine.
Girl, I was at work. He
And she
called me
told
like,
me, the lawyer told her. The lawyer told her to change the code. I said, oh.
yeah, because you could have had access
The
to the
lawyer
house.
told you to change the code at our house that I paid the mortgage at.
Yes.
Nah, so
So guess what?
y'all went that far as that when the lawyer.
That door.
You didn't go that far as the lawyer, bro.
No, it.
I did. Let me see. What was the lawyer name? I don't even know. But I did. I met with the lawyer and all.
No. It was a key thing because after the little code thing didn't work, and I broke that little combination we had at the door. I broke that down.
You broke the door down.
Yes,
No,
me and my kids.
No, don't say that.
No, me and my kids was going into our home. It's me and my kids'
So you
home.
had to enter the home by any means
Me
necessary.
and our kids is going to enter our home.
Oh.
Regardless of what she's doing at work. And she's talking to us on the intercom saying, the lawyer said, our kids.
That's very sad.
I'm not going to let our kids interfere with what the lawyer said. So I let me and our kids into our home. And I changed that locks that night, you know.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, I had a petty moment because we were arguing one time. We didn't argue, we had slight debates. And I remember telling him that I was gonna take him for child support. Mind you, none of our children are by each other. But I told him because we married and you signed up for these kids.
I lied to
You
you.
will pay child, you will pay child support.
Listen, hold on, before she go any further. Listen, I lied to you now. This motherfucker told me. She said, she got so pissed. She said, you know, fuck you, bitch. I'm gonna take you for child support. I'm here at the phone like, we don't even get no.
In the state of Maryland, if you marry somebody, they have children, you are legally bound to those children.
George, as a friend, it's one-on-one. No, as a friend, hold on, as a friend, one-on-one.
This some real shit.
No, it is because we had children.
No, hold on, one second. As a friend, one-on-one. I want you to know, like, when you dating older women, 5 years older, they do a little more research than we do.
No,
Obviously, she didn't do that much research.
No, in the state of Maryland, you to someone. Alimony and child support because we didn't have a prenup.
She of age, much of age of us. We're not thinking of that because yeah, when you 5 years old, like when you was 20, you was 25. When you think of the thing of 25, he's 20.
Is this on
Okay.
Hey,
So
is this on me, right? All right, cool.
it's trauma.
Past trauma. The fact that you see, oh, this bitch got me fucked up.
Why?
He gonna pay child support for some kids that didn't come out of him. We didn't proceed together.
That's the older woman.
I was just being petty.
She wasn't old back then, bro.
It's things that you didn't think about looking up.
But let's be honest.
That's the dumbest shit I ever heard.
It's not dumb. It's not dumb.
I agree, it was dumb, but this is the thing.
She was
when
mad,
you
I
are
get it.
separated from somebody and you feel like, especially with marriage, this is going to be a forever thing, right? So there are a lot of things that I did during our separation that were ultra petty. Like I went out to, and I never told him this. I went out one night, my birthday week, I went out the whole week, so he thought. But I really only went out 3 days, but I went to 5 clubs.
But you made him think that you went out.
No, I went to 5 clubs in one night and took pictures at the clubs from different angles and posted them on different days. So it looked like I was at different clubs on different.
Why y'all laughing?
No, that is so funny.
No, hold on. Why y'all laughing? I knew where she went because.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you did not.
Hey,
No, you didn't.
you would have thought he had a tracking device in my car. I knew he was at. No, you did not.
Exactly, because he thought that he knew where I was as well, but he didn't. So, what's the
What
problem?
time was this?
You said what time was this?
Yeah.
Well, you remember I was going out as well. I'm not. You would text me, but I looked at my phone and I was like, oh, this. I'm not about to respond because he gonna be like, oh, where's she at? Not responding. So yeah.
She had moments like that.
I know he popped up a couple of times too.
I don't think that's.
What's up with pop up? If you separate, why do y'all do that?
Because I know my wife, right? I know my wife.
Okay, what?
I know who I know, right? And I know her petty say, and I know what she's trying to do to me. And
I would a bit sometimes.
my wife
But it
ain't know.
doesn't matter.
My wife ain't know any. Like she not know. I'm not gonna marry no wife that's when she mad or she about to do anything. She's not that type. So I'm not even worried about
No,
that. That's the last thing I'm worried about is that you trying to do things that I know you're like you're doing things I'm not even. Right.
So let me ask you this.
Talking to me in a certain way. Bye. Hey. Her faking don't work for me.
So let me ask you this, D, because all 4 of us can answer this question honestly. What was the trigger point for you in your separation when you knew, oh, this shit is going way too far? Like, what happened as your situation? Because y'all situations gonna be different. Where you was like, oh no, I'm probably either gonna have to go back home or this gonna go all the way south.
No, our separation was like this. It was me frustrated. I couldn't talk to him. I felt like I couldn't talk to no family member, no friends, or nothing. Because every time I talk to somebody, they automatically say that because my wife, she don't go out, she don't do the normal things that people have problems in relationships. They were like, it's me.
It was you.
You was the problem.
You were the problem.
Even if you weren't. You were the problem.
I'm the problem.
No, I'm just asking. He said that. They thought you were the problem, even if you were not.
So I was at that. First of all, when we separated, I was frustrated with everybody. I couldn't feel like I could talk to nobody.
Lamont.
I couldn't talk to nobody. When I called them and told them anything about her, they automatically say, it's me.
She's a winner.
Because my personality, but like I said, nobody knows us
Better than you.
than us.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
Because he a different person.
Honestly,
Lord.
nobody know her like I know her. Her mother, even in the midst of our we broke up, her mother called me and said, her mother is very funny. Like I love her mother. Like her mother, a genuine self. It's a love and fun thing. Like for me. Like, and I remember her mother called me and said, when she realized that we were separated, this doesn't make no sense. What's going on? And I said, Mom, if you can do this one thing, if you can meet me at the house with her, and we have a conversation. I'm gonna have a conversation in front of your daughter, and you want to see what I'm talking about. That's all I want you to do. I don't want to talk about anything else until we have that conversation.
Did it happen?
We had that conversation. She said, we meet that day. We came there, right? And I told her, I said, this is what I did with your daughter. I said, it's no communication. I talked to her and I asked her questions, and she mute. She don't have no answer. And I'm confused. I'm not that type of person. I'm confused, and that makes me frustrated. And I asked her a question, and right in front of her mother. And her mother was sitting there waiting, and she like this. And her mom said, Crystal, answer the question. And she said,
So, Crystal, when was it too far for you?
Well, eventually, he did have his own spot. He had a separate.
He got a spot?
Yeah.
Oh.
And so he gradually, I started.
hold on. You have a problem?
No, hold on.
You got a whole
Continue.
apartment for
Hold on.
Yeah.
Continue.
So
Continue.
we gradually, I stopped being petty, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to be, I said, you know what, stop. You need to really just express how you feel and take his number off a block. And you really, you want him there. And then what really made it really sad, and I was like, oh my gosh, the kids were calling me and texting me and stuff like that, and I was like, you know what? And it was a sad moment, but I was like, you know what? We've invested so much, and the kids, I love them. Even his girls, they are my own. So I was like, we had a family of 6, and I said, come on, you stop being petty, and we're gonna work it out. I was like, I need to communicate, because I would just get silent, and I was like, you know what? I was like, you need to express how you feel, because I was talking to my friends, and sometimes that's not always a good thing. I was like, you need to express how you feel to your.
Because men be trying to screw your mate. We ain't talking about.
I ain't saying all that, but
I'm not giving you
I'm not giving nobody no intel on what's right or wrong in my house.
But I'm just saying, her friends can. What I'm saying is, I have a problem with friends and their opinion. But what I told her is, her friends can't tell her how to deal with me.
That part.
No, you're right.
They can give you advice on how they.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that I take their advice.
No, what I'm saying is, they can tell you their advice how they would deal in that situation if it was them. But also, it's about how I entertain. How you do that. I know my wife. First of all, you doing things out of your character. I already know.
Like what?
When you talking differently, when I know how you talk, and you saying things that I know you don't say.
What, like cursing?
When you, for instance, all the time, I was out, and I said, don't fucking play with me. I'm like, don't fucking play. I'm like, don't fucking play with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the way home. And she's like, oh, I am gonna fucking play with you. Never do that. So I'm like,
but y'all were together.
Yeah.
No. At this point in time, we was together.
Oh, okay.
It was her friend. She had a friend that gave her this aunt. Like this app,
battery.
They put a battery in her back.
Battery in her back.
And battery in her back was confusing me. Like, you can't say that without your friend though. So without your friend, when they get in the house, you mute. But when you was just friend, you, oh yeah, this is. Stop like, no, don't do that.
So let me ask this question, because my husband has never fully expressed to me the division and the coming back. You know, sometimes we just kind of glaze over it and you deal with it and you move past it. So, sir.
Man.
I want to know, like, when you were gone, where was your mindset? How did you get to a place of feeling like this is where you, and don't say it's cheaper to keep her, because that's your easy route out. Because you say that a lot, but that wasn't the end all to be all. It was something that made you feel like it's too much going on, so I'm in this space. But now I've changed my mind to be in this space. So,
George too gangster to say the real truth.
Right.
You gotta say it's
but
easy.
your friend said he wants to know the
He's too
truth.
gangster to say the real truth. He gonna say it's easy to keep. It sound more hard. You sound more hard.
Can I ask
Yes.
a question?
Yes.
Can I answer?
No problem.
What was the question again?
So when you left, right, and you were living in the space of I can do whatever I want to do, what was your mindset then? And what made you change to get to a place of I'm gonna go ahead back home? Like, how did you really get there?
One, it was you don't have no control over me.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying you did in the beginning,
Right.
but going back and trying to get back with you, well, rekindle the flame.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those. These chicks ain't got nothing that my wife got. Like the loyal, the respect factor, like, and the big key factor in me coming back was one of the communication.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we had a conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
That was one key factor in our,
That had to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I would get silent. I'm more of a texter, I would say.
I'm not that.
Slide that text right across. If you can't talk to me in person, you slide that text right
I
across.
wasn't that.
Like, you don't talk, I can.
Well,
I don't
so in our case, I didn't really like to express how I felt because you were like so aggressive.
Jordan was
not like you know, like
you were the same way.
But
You wouldn't talk to
like
me.
you would get like so angry, like you know, like every time I would express how I feel,
Oh,
you would.
but I get angry because the things that she say, the things that she
What she say or actually say?
No, it's the. If she accused me of some
There's a
things
difference
that
between
no. If she accused me of some things that I would do, it's understandable. It'd be like
You know what?
it'd
Hold
be
on.
the
Hey, babe.
opposite of how that's not even my courage that make me feel like I'm not even that's like a person.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm feeling like you. It's like you. I feel you coming against my courage in the way she be thinking.
So you know what I've learned?
And I also feel like you make me feel like the things that she accused me of. Let me give you an example. I can come home and say, man, Jewel and me go out tonight, man. I don't really feel like going out, but I'm gonna go because she always get mad about going out. She gonna say, you just saying that because you just want me to say.
In her defense.
Yeah.
In
No,
her
seriously.
defense, y'all do have, it's this man code of, and I'm not necessarily saying you two do it, but it's the reality. Most men have this vicious lie cheat. It's like the cheat on the game.
That's not
Where you-
always the case.
But it's,
So
but y'all like, oh, I cheat with my
don't-
man, and then you be somewhere.
Like,
But nigga bitches.
right, like you'll use like your like, oh, my man wanted to do this, but you really wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying?
That be the problem. That problem.
No.
Let me say why. Because for my wife, you should understand your person. You understand. You notice everything.
I do.
I never know if somebody goes. I can go out this weekend coming up all weekend. I wouldn't know which the place to go to. It would have to be somebody inviting me, like I'm going with somebody else. So it's never me setting up anything, right? So if I come home and say, I'm going out with Jordan, I really don't want to go to, but I'm gonna force myself to go, that's my true self because I come home and she hit me other times that I might tell this another friend I'm going somewhere and then I might not just go.
So how we get no, let me tell you. So, let me tell you why. So basically, when you say like, oh, come in, like I'm tired, and so want me to go out, nigga, if you tired, go the fuck to bed.
But I'm
so why you still going? You know what I'm saying? Why do you gotta make them happy? Like if you sleep, go to sleep.
If you my wife,
that's what you doing. That's what you doing. You my wife, you my best friend, and everything. I straight talk to you, right? So I'm telling you, that's my truth. I mean, I would call Jordan and say I'm going somewhere else, right? I would call Jordan, it's my man. I'm like, man, my other man want to go out. I don't finish. It's a general conversation.
So let me ask you this: amidst all of that crap, how do we get to a place of getting back in the same household? Because of course these are the situations that we went through to get us outside of each other's household, right?
Yes.
So how do you get to a place like what? And I don't want no big explanation. What's the specific thing that happened that made you all feel like? And this way, I'm telling
you can't.
Ladies first. Ladies first, bro. Please. Ladies, go ahead.
Okay, so what actions that we took to get back to, this good? Oh, what actions?
Okay. In your mind, that's fine.
Okay.
A specific thing that said, I got to do life with him. Like, I don't want to go through with the divorce. I don't want to separate. What was the specific thing that happened, or what made you feel like I got to be back in this situation? I'm gonna talk about what it was for me. So it was a couple of things.
First of all, I didn't do shit.
You did. You sent me a song that made me cry.
Oh, you talking about getting back together?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But the reason why I wanted, because music is your love language, but that's no different. But the reason why I really realized that this was what I wanted was a couple of things. Number one, I did not realize how codependent I was on you until we weren't together. I didn't realize how much I depended, because I've always been able to do everything myself. Either I could pay for it or I could make it happen, and I didn't know how much I really relied on you. So that was number one.
The lesson that you learned was what?
That I needed you.
Did you need me, baby?
I needed you, and I never needed anybody.
Yeah, I did. That's all. I'm going to. Yeah,
and that was
I did.
my point.
I did.
Said I can show you better than I can tell you.
You were just being okay. You right.
I wasn't.
You right. You right. And so, and I'm gonna be honest. The number two thing, which was actually bigger than the number one thing, and I'm gonna be very honest. The reason why I knew that this was what I really wanted had nothing to do with me and you. The reason why I knew that this is what I wanted was because, and I promise you I'm not gonna cry, you were the last person that my mother talked to on the phone before she died. And for me, that was the most important person in my life, my whole life. Mm-hmm. And for you to be the very last conversation that my mother had, how could I ever allow my pride or my asshole ways to get in the way of somebody that my mother took her last breath having a conversation with? And so whatever it took for me to do what I was supposed to do to be a wife, because I didn't know how to be a wife. I knew how to make money. I knew how to be independent. I knew how to do, what's the song, fuck nigga free. I knew how to do all of that. But I didn't know, let's be real. But I didn't know how to be submissive. And I think because we look at submission as us just doing whatever you say, when it's not that. It's adhering to understanding that you're a man. And being able to say that, while I know I can fight if I need to, you're supposed to be my protector. So sometimes I have to back down. But for me, the real determining factor, honest to God, was that you were the last person my mother talked to on the phone. And that for me did it. That was it.
And y'all are here.
Oh yeah, you're not going to, we're going to die together at the end.
Well,
Till death. Till death.
She said she got babies.
I do. Like a pup, you know, you get a dog and you get the babies and tell you what breed they are.
Looking back, how did the separation help us? And I want that same question for y'all also.
It humbled us. I think that one thing that was very unfair to our relationship was we had a lot of traumatic things that happened when we started dating.
Facts.
Your uncle died, my mother died.
Shit, I had 2 uncles died.
Yep, my oldest son, or our oldest son, had brain surgery. It was a lot of things that took us away from learning each other.
Right.
And so, because I've always been so strong, I've always just been okay with me. Like, my whole mindset is, I'm gonna make sure I'm good no matter what. I'm not worried about the emotional part. I can take care of myself physically and financially. And I learned how to be a woman. And that's hard for most black women because we learn how to do. Like, you just gonna do. I'm gonna make sure the kids eat. I'm gonna make sure we got this. I'm gonna make sure. And you see it in so many women that you know, mothers, aunts, or whomever. But I think for our separation, I learned, especially going back in, because one of the things that you always expressed to me was, you don't have to be the man. How I'm gonna be the man and you gonna be the man? And you said things like that to me. And so it was hard because I couldn't understand it. But being separated and coming back together, I feel comfortable in the fact that I can just be a girl. And I've never had that. I've never been able to do that. I've always been the loudest person in the room, or make sure I made the most money or whatever, but I can just be a girl.
Right.
And I even though it's funny, like, even my friends point out to me, when you're around, I'm way more quiet than when you're not around.
As you should be.
And I'm like, well, but I've learned how to be in the room and be myself, but still give you space to show up, because I don't have to be the center of attraction.
Right.
So that's how I feel like it helped us. It helped me learn how to be a girl.
What about you, Chris?
So
Cut.
like that.
I mean, to me, one of the biggest things I learned was, like I said, which I spoke on earlier, which communication. Mm-hmm. I ain't had that at first. I couldn't talk to my wife. It was some shit I said that she take personal, and it was like, I'm going down the hill, I don't want to go down. But I learned it. So that was one of the biggest keys coming back into the relationship between me and her.
Okay. What about you, Boo?
Me,
Well, that was about you, boo.
from my separation, I learned that by myself was, let me calm myself down and let me understand my worth for her and not put myself first, selfishly way. And let's compromise and make it work, because I know what I want. Yeah, I ain't going nowhere, so I'm gonna make it work.
All right.
So what I would say that I learned about myself was to just calm myself down, take it back a few notches, and then I also had to work on just listening more, and just expressing how I felt, and stop being so
Good.
yeah. Yes.
Just do petty things.
Yeah, because I had to look back on some of the things that I did, and I was like, that was messed up. Like, I didn't have to go there. And I can sit and listen and hear what he has to say, but also express how I feel, and then we come to an agreement, and then we work on those things. So we're in a good space right now. So
Well, you nah.
I think we all learned that too, though, but if you want
I mean, communication is key, but I think the biggest thing for me, honestly, more than anything that I learned in the separation and coming back, I can say time and time again, I learned how to be a girl. And I didn't grow up with that. I knew how to fight, I knew how to be, I knew how to promote myself through life and talk myself in and out of every situation, but I had to learn how to let a man be a man. And that's something that a lot of black women don't learn. And so, me really being a situation where I learned who my husband was and how to let him lead and how to back up when I needed to, and how it's okay to back down without feeling small, because that was always my thing. That was big. But I feel like our relationship is different now, because when you talk to me, I hear you differently. You know, my husband is very aggressive in how he communicates, right? I think that the difference now is you think before you say certain things to me because you know that it can hit me a certain way. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And so for me, I also had to learn to, and I'm not even gonna lie, a lot of people do this, but they're not honest. I say it in my head, I don't necessarily say it. I had to learn how to do that because
a lot in our head.
yeah.
I want to hear this.
So like we'll have a conversation, and honest to God, in my mind, I feel like I don't know who the fuck he think he talking to. But I'm not gonna say that to him because in all actuality, it doesn't warrant that response in that situation, right? But that's a part of me learning how to back up because my defense mechanism is the jump. So I had to learn how to retreat without feeling lit. Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like.
What you feel like is different?
I feel like going forward, the relationship is a little different. For one, what we said, communication. Two, you don't spend money like you used to.
That's good though.
What you mean like you used to?
That's a whole nother story.
No, I'm saying like, what you mean you used to like when y'all was celebrating something different?
No, this before.
I'm an impulse
Before we
shopper.
started. Yeah, she.
If I
She
want
changed
to buy,
that.
No. So we came to an agreement
Right.
where we.
So that was a problem.
So that's
yeah.
finance wise, everything is different. This and another, like we communicate more, all that. This
So
and
you do
another.
better
You know
now?
what I'm saying?
You hoping she do better now?
No shit, I don't hope.
No, I'm asking, do she do better now, or you hoping she do better?
She does better, dog. But I'm just saying, like.
But the percentage are better though.
It's better.
That's why the percentage are better. The percentage are better, yes.
Argument 75%.
See?
Oh.
Okay. I asked now.
Versus,
I used to just buy.
versus it was
Okay.
the 1% I don't get for.
When she,
How is our relationship different? Like from your perspective?
I mean, our relationship different now
Oh,
because
we talking about between me and her?
No.
Not y'all.
Oh,
I can't say the
that's
same
not
for
funny.
because I'm not gonna get in that part. Because I'm who my wife, who she is, and who I am. For it to make it work for both of us, it's some things I would just have to be the bigger person to make it work. Because not because she don't want it to work, it's because she don't know how to make that initiative to make it work. I'm the more I don't care about none of us. I don't care what nobody think. I don't care about nothing. I care about what matters, and that's what all matters. I don't. You who I want,
And you won't do whatever you
and I do that, and I do that. You know what I'm saying? I do that.
And I listen more, right? No?
She always listens. it's expressions. She don't argue.
I'm listening, but I may have a facial expression like I always do, but I'm listening. Like I'm listening, and I'm actually taking action.
I feel like since our separation,
Right?
she doesn't hold the petty like before. She used to try to do a day or two of holding it, even when I don't entertain it. Now she knows that I don't entertain it. She would let it go because she knows that it's not going
It's
away.
growth.
So it's
The separation made us all
her
better.
little eyebrows go up and down on that same day, and 30 minutes later, calm them eyebrows down and stop playing so much. Ain't know what I'm saying? We good. We
What you
back.
gonna say, baby?
We back.
Yeah.
How long did it take y'all to get up? Like, y'all, say if y'all got into it right now, right?
She be mad.
No.
But
Say if y'all got, normal thing, y'all got into it right
we
now.
gonna say this for. Listen, we gonna say this for. We gonna say this for another day, man.
No, I'm saying how long
We gonna say. We gonna say.
argument.
Listen. You said what?
How long, not like.
We gonna say it for another.
No,
day.
I'm saying, if y'all got an argument right now, right?
Part 2 it is.
Say, I'm saying like.
Coming back on the Conflict Podcast near you.
How long did it take y'all to get out of argument?
Follow us on YouTube,
That's
right?
what we ain't talking
How
about.
long did it take y'all to get out of
We're
argument?
not talking about business.
How long did it take y'all to get an argument? A day?
Part 2.
So you
Well, you know what, babe? We'll discuss this at a later date. I want to thank our guests for joining us tonight. We have Onari and Jordan. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming out and joining us on the Conflict Podcast. And you
To comment on tonight's discussion, follow us at conflict_podcast.